Hello and welcome back. My name is Liz and I'm the creator of Pen to Paper. In my last video, I covered how to write a closing paragraph. If you have not watched it yet, please go take a look. Today we're diving into a fundamental aspect of writing, how to craft an informative essay. This type of essay is all about educating your readers on a specific topic. Before we jump in, I want to add a quick disclaimer. Every student has their own approach to writing, and what works for one person may not work for another. The method I'm sharing today has been effective for me, but feel free to adapt it to fit your own style. So let's talk about informative essays. An informative essay aims to provide readers with knowledge about a specific subject. Unlike argumentative essays, which take a stance, informative essays present facts and information in a clear and organized manner. First, I'm going to start with the informative essay's introduction paragraph. I've created a simple outline to guide you through the writing process and create visual aid. You can find a PDF of this outline and other resources in the description below. Remember, this outline is adaptable to various topics. Your first sentence should be a hook that grabs the reader's attention about your topic. Your hook should be followed by several sentences providing background information on the topic. These sentences will be very general, but they will lay foundation to inform your reader a little bit about what you're going to be writing about. And then write a thesis statement that outlines what you will cover in the essay. Now, an informative essay thesis statement is different from an argumentative essay. In an argumentative essay, you present a stance in your thesis statement and you use the key points that I mentioned in my previous thesis statement video to list out how you're going to support your stance, where in an informative essay, you list out what you're going to describe to inform the reader on the topic. Next is your body paragraphs. I created a body paragraph outline for the informative essay as a visual aid and to help you with the writing process. You can find a PDF of this outline and the other resources in the description below. Notice on the outline that there's a line to put a topic. You should make sure that when you start a body paragraph, you know exactly what topic you will be speaking about so that it will be more clear and concise to the reader and you can dedicate to what subject. Now I'll get into writing the body paragraph. First, you start with your topic sentence, which will introduce the exact topic of the body paragraph. Follow your topic statement with facts, evidence, statements, etc. that support the topic statement, along with elaboration to explain the example or how the example relates to your topic. Then you put a second factor statement along with its elaboration. Now this should be completely different from the evidence you just stated previously because you don't want to repeat yourself, and an argument is more credible when it has different pieces of evidence, but it should still pertain to the topic of your body paragraph. Now for the sake of the example, I only did 2 examples per body paragraph, but depending on your topic, you might include only 1 or you might include 3 or more. And finally, your closing sentence. This closing sentence should discuss how maybe your paragraph supports your thesis statement or should signify to the reader that the idea is complete. I put optional there because sometimes you may write several body paragraphs about one idea, but in that final paragraph about that idea, you should include a closing sentence to signify to the reader this is over. And then I'll be talking about conclusion paragraphs. Here I have an outline to serve as a visual aid and to help you in the writing process. You can also find a PDF of this in the description below. First, you'll start with more of a generalized statement about your topic. Most of the time you will be restating your thesis statement, obviously not word for word, but make a overall statement kind of concluding the topic, signifying this is my conclusion paragraph. Now these summary sentences should be summaries of the body paragraphs you wrote and the key points you mentioned in your thesis statement. Now finally, the closing sentence. You do not want to leave the essay incomplete, but you should make a sentence that's impactful in a way that would keep the readers thinking about this topic, but it should still be tying it together and finalizing your ideas. Now let's read an example informative essay that I wrote on climate change. I will now read the first page. The urgent need for action against climate change. Did you know that the planet's temperature has risen by 1.2 degrees Celsius in the last 100 years? That may sound like a small change, but it's having a huge impact on our environment. Climate change refers to the long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns, mainly caused by human activities such as deforestation, and burning fossil fuels. Climate change will cause a shift in the planet's temperature, leading to negative environmental impacts. We must take action now, as reducing carbon emissions will not only benefit the environment, but also have positive social and economic effects. The scientific evidence supporting the reality of climate change is overwhelming. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, the Earth's average surface temperature has increased by approximately 1.1 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century, with much of that warming occurring in the last few decades. The primary drivers of this warming are human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial agriculture. Greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, trap heat in the atmosphere, leading to rising global temperatures. This increase in temperature is causing glaciers to melt, sea levels to rise, and extreme weather events like heat waves, storms, and droughts to become more frequent and severe. For example, in 2020, Australia experienced its hottest and driest year on record, leading to catastrophic wildfires. These wildfires burned over 46 million acres of land, destroyed thousands of homes, and killed or displaced billions of animals. Scientific models predict that if global temperatures continue to rise unchecked, these extreme weather events will only become more intense. Clearly, there is a pressing need to address the human activities driving climate change and to reduce carbon emissions to slow the warming of our planet. Taking action on climate change doesn't just have environmental benefits, it also has significant economic benefits. First, transitioning to cleaner energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydropower will create millions of new jobs in industries that are sustainable and in high demand. According to a report from the International Renewable Energy Agency, the renewable energy sector could employ up to 85 million people by 2030. Compared to 11 million in fossil fuel industries, these jobs would range from the installation of solar panels to research and development in energy storage technologies. Moreover, reducing carbon emissions has the potential to save governments and businesses billions of dollars in healthcare costs. Air pollution caused by burning fossil fuels is responsible for millions of premature deaths annually, as it contributes to respiratory diseases, cardiovascular conditions, and cancer. By investing in cleaner technologies and reducing pollution, we can improve public health, reduce healthcare expenditures, and increase overall quality of life. On a social level, reducing carbon emissions can also help ensure that vulnerable populations such as low-income communities and developing nations are protected from the worst effects of climate change. Many of the most severe consequences of climate change, such as flooding, drought, and displacement, disproportionately affect these groups. By mitigating climate change now, we can prevent future social inequalities from deepening and protect the most vulnerable members of society. The good news is that there are several policies and strategies available to reduce carbon emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. One of the most important steps is to implement carbon pricing, either through a carbon tax or cap-and-trade system. These policies place a financial cost on carbon emissions, incentivizing businesses to reduce their greenhouse gas input. Countries like Sweden and Canada have already implemented successful carbon pricing systems, leading to reduced emissions and increased investment in green technologies. Another critical policy is to promote energy efficiently through regulations and incentives. This could include stricter energy efficiency standards for buildings, transportation, and appliances, as well as government incentives for businesses and homeowners to invest in energy-saving technologies. For example, electric vehicles are one of the most promising solutions for reducing carbon emissions in the transportation sector. Governments can help by providing subsidies, rebates, and charging infrastructure to encourage the adoption of electric vehicles. Finally, governments can play a vital role in fostering international cooperation to address climate change. The Paris Agreement, signed by nearly every country in 2015, is an example of a global effort to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius. While progress has been slow, international agreements are crucial for coordinating climate action on a global scale, especially since climate change is a global problem that requires collective solutions. To prevent further environmental damage, urgent steps must be taken to address the growing threat of climate change. As discussed, the scientific evidence is clear. The economic benefits are undeniable, and policy changes are already within reach. The time to act is now, and by taking decisive steps, we can secure a healthier, more sustainable future for generations to come. This example illustrates how to structure an informative essay, ensuring that you provide clear information and support for each point. The content of the essay itself provides an overview of the critical issue of climate change, outlining the scientific evidence, economic benefits, and policy solutions that can help mitigate its effects. It encourages readers to recognize the urgency of the issue and consider the many ways in which collective action can lead to positive change. By crafting a clear and informative structure, this essay serves as an effective tool for educating readers on the importance of combating climate change. Please note I will include the citations for the sources I used in the video description, and I will be making future videos on how to include sources in your essays. Now, in regards to the essay I just read, I will be including a PDF version in the description below. Now, I would like to turn that into a little learning exercise. Now, I talked about the different sentences that are a part of paragraphs in informative essays previously in the video. So go through each sentence in each paragraph of the essay and try to pick out which sentence is which. For example, see if the first sentence of a paragraph is the topic sentence, etc. And then look at each paragraph and try to come up with which topic I was focusing on, and maybe consider how that supports the thesis statement I had in my introduction paragraph. Now, in my next video, I'll be discussing how to craft an argumentative essay. I'm Liz, and this is Pen to Paper. Thank you for watching.